It's Mark Summers and Meathead, your morning buzz, and it was exactly 3 years ago to this date that Kurt Cobain was found dead in his home in Washington. And we've got the guy that was really in charge of handling the investigation, not from the police side, but from the private angle. I guess Courtney Love hired someone in the beginning, just so she could get some questions answered. And I guess Tom Grant got a little too close to the issue and wound up getting fired by Courtney.
I think we believe we've seen the smoking gun evidence that Kurt Cobain was murdered, but we have not seen conclusive proof that Courtney Love was involved.
Including the fact that I went up to Seattle shortly after Courtney hired me. I hooked up with Kurt's best friend, Dylan Carlson, and searched around Seattle, including a search 2 times at the house on Lake Washington where the body was later found. Everything about this case just smelled horrible.
The question was, do you think that Kurt Cobain's best friend, Dylan, who was showing you around the house, purposely did not show you that room?
Yeah, of course, for quite some period of time, I was highly suspicious of Dylan. Dylan Carlson is also a heroin addict. He gets his drugs from Courtney and money from Courtney. He relies on her for an awful lot. But it's a dependent relationship. I mean, this is a group of people that all do drugs up there, and the Cobains, of course, have all the money, and Dylan was Kurt's best friend long before Kurt ever became famous or obtained any amount of wealth. But of course, Courtney, when Courtney hooked up with Kurt, she basically took over all of his friends, and she became the domineering person in that relationship and in the relationship between any of Kurt's other friends also.
So if she didn't pull the trigger, who in your mind did this?
Well, it's not necessarily in my mind, but a Los Angeles musician named Eldon Hope, the leader of the Mentors, who are used to be quite a notorious foreign metal band. Tipper Gore cited their lyrics to Congress in her obscenity and music hearings in the 80s. So they were quite intimate. This guy used to dress up as a medieval executioner on stage and call himself El Duce.
Oh, now what about this guy?
He claims that Courtney Love approached him. They used to be friends in Los Angeles. This is a fact in the late 80s. She approached him about 3 months before Kurt died and offered him $50,000 to blow Kurt's head off. Now, you take one look at this guy and you wouldn't believe a word he says, but he actually passed the polygraph test by America's leading polygraph examiner, the guy that teaches the advanced polygraph course for the FBI, the same guy that conducted the O.J. Simpson polygraph. He told Broomfield the story on film, and 8 days later, Eldon Hope was found dead on a California railroad track. No witnesses. He was drunk. Nobody knows what happened.
Supposedly, Kurt Cobain had left all those songs, that in fact were songs he was going to use. And now that she is making a new album, it has been delayed because she really has no songs. Is there any truth to that?
Well, that's what people have been saying for years. Actually, Seattle DJ named Marco Collins last year played a tape of the song Asking For It from that album with Kurt singing in the background. And that confirmed people's suspicion that he must have written. But people say he wrote the musical bridges for that album because Courtney is just not capable of that kind of musicianship.